A OOP program will be having a complete object showing the essential features. It is called as abstraction. There is a OOP which is binded along with different objects. Hello everyone, I welcome you all to the first session that's under Unit 1. The subject what I have opted for you is already informed to you, that is none other than object-oriented programming with Java. This is a new subject and let me tell you, it's according to updated SEP syllabus of Mysuru University, and we are up to start with our Unit 1. The Unit 1 is all about fundamentals of object-oriented programming. Over here, my name is Deepa Kutnikar. I'm working as an assistant professor under Department of Computer Science, Vidhyaashram, Temple of Excellence, Mysuru. Let me tell you, we have completed our day 0 session wherein you'll be getting each and every bit regarding the subject, that is what is the syllabus, what is the outcome of studying the subject, and number of units and what are there in the units, as well as internals, marks, and the syllabus discussion. Also, with respect to the question paper pattern, each and every bit of the subject has been explained over there in that video. I request you to go back and check that video too. Up next, let's move with today's session and understand the agenda of today's session. In today's session, we will be discussing, initially we'll be starting with understanding what is a fundamental concepts of object-oriented programming. Then we will understand object-oriented paradigm, like what are the rules in order to go with object-oriented programming. Later, we will also be discussing the basic principle that is included with respect to object-oriented programming. Then we will be discussing the advantages as well as applications of OOP. So that's with respect to today's session. So let's begin our session by understanding the fundamentals of OOP. The OOP is nothing but object-oriented programming, which is a coding model that organizes software around various objects. So over here we can see there is a OOP which is binded along with different objects. So you can observe here there is a description protocol, there's a self protocol, various attributes, methods. So all this forms a complete concept for OOP, in turn a software. With respect to OOP, we can't always say it is just with respect to software, but it will also bind the behavior as well as the information included in that particular formats, which is always being used or utilized in order to maintain the code or reuse the code which they have built. So this is a fundamental concept with respect to the object-oriented programming. Now let's move forward and understand what is object-oriented paradigm. So it is none other than a basic set of rules that we have to follow in order to deal with object-oriented programming. The first one, let's start with a definition. A programming paradigm that involves around the objects as well as the classes. Please note the object as well as classes are very important with respect to object-oriented programming. Whenever we say OOP concept, the first primary thing that we have to understand is it always revolves with object as well as classes. So these two are very important topics. Now let's understand like what is an object and what is a class. The objects are the real world entities that has a complete behavior as well as various properties. All right, now let's see what is a class. So a class is a blueprint, okay? It forms as a blueprint or a template in order to form an object, that is nothing but a class. So the rule or a paradigm of object-oriented programming, it revolves under these two concepts. That is very primary concept. First one is object, next one is a class. Now, as we have understood what is an object, it is none other than a real world terms or the real world entities which has their own properties as well as behavior. But what is a class? It is a blueprint or a template for creating various objects. So this forms the key concept of a object-oriented programming. Now let's move forward and see like what is the basic principle of OOP. The basic principle, it holds four different terms, which is none other than, initially it starts with encapsulation, later the next principle is inheritance, then we have abstraction also and polymorphism. You can see here a OOP program will be having a complete object, and the object will be considered within the class. Now, this OOP will be having basic principles of encapsulation, then inheritance, followed by abstraction as well as a polymorphism. Now, let's see one by one like what is encapsulation. As the name itself says, encapsulation, the information is being encapsulated. And now, why this encapsulation or the information is being encapsulated or information is covered? Why is it? It is because to provide, in order to provide the security for the information or the data. So that is the primary criteria of encapsulation. And we can define encapsulation as building data as well as methods on it. It means building the data as well as information on OOP concepts. So that is an encapsulation, and why it is used? In order to safeguard our information. The next principle is none other than an abstraction. Abstraction is none other than hiding the complete information and only expressing or showing the essential features. It is called as abstraction. Now let's get back here and see why abstraction is done. By doing abstraction, we can expect the hiding complexity. So this is an advantage or the thing why we will be going with an abstraction. Next one, the next property or the next principle is none other than inheritance. Inheritance, as the name itself says, something is inherited or some properties of a main class is being inherited to a new class which is developed by a person. So it is done to ensure the code reusability. So that's the next principle. Moving forward, the fourth and the last principle is polymorphism. Polymorphism is also an essential principle of OOP, which gives an ability to express itself in multiple forms. So that is none other than polymorphism. Now let's see why polymorphism is done. It is done to ensure code reusability too. So we can see here inheritance and polymorphism are two basic principles which provides code reusability. Correct, right? We need code reusability property because always we can't go and write a program from starting. Few programs or the functions can be directly considered because it is always inbuilt, isn't it? So that is what the property, that is code reusability, which ensures a user for easy working. And this gives a basic principle of OOP. Let me tell you, this is one of very important question with respect to your exams as well as internals point of view. Now let's move forward and understand what are the advantage of OOP. Has the OOP is a complete concept, it has multiple advantages as well as multiple application. So let's see one by one what is a simple benefit of a OOP. By using this OOP, we can ensure the efficient code management. Next one, by OOP, we can ensure and enhance security. Similarly, scalable as well as expandability can be considered, and similarly real world modeling can also be done. Then we can say by doing all these things we can give a code which is enterprise ready. So this forms a complete benefits of a OOP. Along with this, we also have ample of benefits or advantages. So let's see one by one what are those. The first one is maintainability. By doing code reusability or by expecting abstraction, we can consider the code can be maintained. Similarly, modularity. Modularity is provided by polymorphism as well as inheritance, where the information can take multiple forms. Reusability. So this reusability is a crucial thing which helps the programmers. Correct, right? So for reusability, which are the principles that is supported? Yes, it's none other than inheritance as well as polymorphism. Next one is flexibility. So we can say this code will be flexible in order to use inside one more complex program. So the program which will be written can be flexible too. The next advantage is data and information handling. Absolutely, by doing all this process or by following basic set of principles, we can expect that our information or the data is handled in an efficient way. So this is a advantage of a OOP. Now, as we understood the basic concepts, then the principle as well as advantage, now it paves a way to see and understand like what are the applications of this OOP. So let's move forward. Over here, the applications of OOP, there are ample of applications too, but let's see few of the applications. So the first application is web development. It is used in mobile development, also in gaming development and in database management, then in artificial intelligence. Yes, OOP concept is also being utilized in our AI, which is a platform that we people are dependent on, isn't it? So yes, each and everything is being confirmed by AI nowadays, correct? So yes, this forms an application of OOP. Let me tell you, this is a very, very important question with respect to your exam point of view, because this question is been asked for complete 4 to 5 marks, wherein you have to briefly describe what are the points and then you have to brief each point. So this is all about the applications of OOP. If possible, you can also draw this diagram and represent the applications. So this was all about today's session, and let's see what is the thing that we discuss in our next session. Next session is all about introduction to Java language. So this was today's session, and thank you.